Have you ever had that feeling that time is passing too quickly, and suddenly you realize that your body no longer responds in the same way? Maybe that walk that used to be easy now requires a little more effort, or your mind feels more tired at the end of the day, even with fewer tasks. If this sounds familiar, take a deep breath. You are not alone, and better yet, this does not mean that life has slowed down. In fact, it is just entering a new phase, and there is a lot you can do to make it even richer, full of energy and balance. At 45, 50, 60, or more years old, many people start to hear that it is normal to feel slower, that your memory will fail you, or that your body is no longer the same. But is this really true? Does age really have to be synonymous with limitations? In this video, I want to invite you to an honest and inspiring conversation. We're going to talk about simple but powerful choices that can transform your health and well-being from now on. Yes, it's totally possible to live with more energy, mental clarity, and lightness, even as the years go by.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're talking about something that's, on the minds and maybe in the joints of a lot of us. Staying healthy and feeling good as we move past 45. You might have noticed sleep shifts, perhaps a little more mental fatigue than before. It's kind of a stage where our bodies and minds can feel like they're, recalibrating. So our mission today is to really dig into practical, effective ways to live a balanced, energetic life in this next chapter. We're not interested in the stereotypes of aging.
Right.
We're here to unlock the potential for a really vibrant and fulfilling experience. We've got some great insights today from a resource dedicated to healthy living after 45.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Ever stop to think if those small things you do each day actually add up as the years go by? Let's explore that.
It's a powerful question, and the evidence strongly suggests they really do. One of the cornerstones our resource emphasizes right away is sleep.
Okay, sleep. Makes sense.
Yeah. After 45, the way our sleep cycles operate can change a bit. We often see a reduction in those deeper, more restorative phases of sleep.
Yeah.
And the impact. Well, you might wake up feeling less rested, perhaps a bit irritable, and, not quite as mentally sharp.
Okay, so it's not just me imagining things when I feel like my sleep isn't as solid as it used to be?
Not at all. Our resource explains that the internal mechanisms governing our sleep can indeed become, less efficient. But the encouraging news is that we have significant influence over this.
Right.
Making thoughtful adjustments to our evening routine can yield real benefits. Think about minimizing screen time before bed. That specific type of light from our devices, the blue light, it can interfere with melatonin production. That's the hormone telling our bodies it's time to sleep.
Yeah, that blue light point is key. I'm definitely guilty of scrolling in bed.
And creating a calm, dark, quiet sleep environment. That also signals your brain, time to wind down. And trying to maintain a consistent bedtime, even on weekends, that helps regulate your body's internal clock.
Okay. What else does our source suggest for better sleep? Any other tips?
Well, diet can also play a significant role. Our resource points out that consuming heavy meals or eating too close to bedtime can disrupt sleep quality.
Right, indigestion.
Exactly. Opting for a lighter evening meal and maybe incorporating a calming herbal tea like chamomile or lemon balm could be beneficial.
Oh, nice idea.
Additionally, establishing a relaxing pre-sleep ritual, maybe some light reading, calming music, or even a brief guided meditation that can really help your mind shift gears into sleep mode.
Those are some helpful and actually doable ideas. So, okay, prioritizing good sleep. What's the next key area for staying on top of our well-being after 45?
Our resource then shifts to mental and emotional health, which is just so vital for regardless of whether they have a specific diagnosis, especially as we navigate the transitions that often happen after 45, changes in family, career. Our own bodies taking care of our inner world is paramount. The resource touches on the sheer volume of thoughts we have daily and how many of them can be unintentionally negative or self-critical. This constant internal chatter can really drain our energy.
Oh, I can definitely relate to that.
Yeah.
It's so easy to get caught in those negative thought loops.
Yeah.
So what does the resource offer? How do we counter that?
It suggests a surprisingly effective practice, just becoming aware of your internal dialogue without judgment and actively choosing to practice self-compassion.
Okay.
It even recommends starting your day by posing a positive, self-directed question. Instead of just jumping into the day's to-do list, ask yourself, what's one thing I can do today that will make me feel good? Or what small moment of joy can I intentionally create?
Wow.
It might seem small, but it can really shift your overall outlook for the day.
I can see how setting that kind of positive intention first thing could make a real difference. What other mental well-being strategies does our source mention?
Incorporating regular moments of pause is incredibly valuable. Even just 5 minutes to focus on your breath, close your eyes, kind of reconnect with yourself. It can have a big impact.
Just 5 minutes. Okay.
Yeah. And the resource underscores the benefits of meditation. Even simple forms like short guided sessions you can find online. Good for reducing stress, helping memory, maybe even lowering blood pressure. This doesn't have to be complicated.
That's good to know. Doesn't have to be an hour on a cushion then.
Not at all.
Okay, so we're focused on rest, a calmer mind. Now let's talk about moving our bodies. I notice the resource uses the term movement rather than just exercise.
Exactly. And that's a really important distinction, I think. The key message is you don't need to be, an elite athlete to get the benefits of physical activity.
Right.
Our bodies are designed for movement, and you can weave it into your day in really accessible ways. Think about consciously choosing to walk outdoors, putting on some music you love and just dancing around the living room, doing some gentle stretches when you wake up, or simply taking the stairs instead of the elevator. Little things.
Those all sound pretty manageable, actually. What are the benefits of these smaller, maybe more frequent bursts of movement?
Well, even these small actions help improve circulation. They release endorphins, those natural mood boosters, and they can even lead to greater mental clarity.
Okay.
Now, if you can incorporate more structured activities like swimming or Pilates or maybe a beginner's yoga class regularly, that's fantastic.
Sure.
But as the resource really emphasizes, the most important thing is just to start where you are with what feels doable right now. Don't let the idea of some perfect routine stop you from just starting.
That's really encouraging advice. Start small. Okay, let's shift gears to how we fuel our bodies. Our resource mentions metabolism changes after 45.
Yes, our metabolism, basically how our bodies turn food into energy, it can tend to slow down a bit as we age.
Yeah, I've heard that.
It's often linked to a natural decrease in muscle mass and, hormonal shifts. So what this means is we might not need the same quantity of food as maybe we did in our 20s or 30s, but the quality of the nutrients we eat becomes even more critical.
Quality over quantity.
Exactly. The focus should be on getting a balanced intake, not necessarily super strict diets. Our resource highlights the value of natural, colorful, fiber-rich foods. Less processed sugar and unhealthy fats. It's about nourishing your body well.
So no need for drastic overnight diet overhauls. That's definitely good to hear. What are some practical ways to adjust our eating habits then?
Well, the resource suggests a really gradual and sustainable approach. Like try incorporating just one new healthy food into your diet each week.
Which one?
Yeah, maybe it's a fruit you don't usually eat, or trying different salad greens, or swapping white rice for brown rice sometimes.
Okay.
Each small, mindful choice is a step towards feeling lighter, having a clearer mind, more energy. And as you start to feel those positive effects, maybe sleeping better, feeling more energetic, it kind of creates this positive feedback loop. It builds momentum.
I like that gentle approach. Feels much more realistic long term. Okay, now let's move to something that sometimes gets missed when we focus just on the physical. But our resource says it's really significant: relationships.
Absolutely. The quality of our connections with other people has a huge impact on both our emotional and physical health, even longevity.
Really? Physical health too?
Yeah, research has shown that people with strong, supportive relationships tend to have better heart health, stronger immune systems, and they're more resilient when facing challenges.
Wow.
And it's not necessarily about having, hundreds of friends. It's more about nurturing those deeper connections where you feel genuinely understood and supported. Quality over quantity again.
That really rings true. So how can we actively, nurture those important relationships, especially if life gets busy?
Well, our resource suggests that even small gestures can make a big difference. Picking up the phone just to say hi, sending a quick text or email thinking of someone, suggesting a coffee catch-up. It can help keep those connections warm, even ones that have drifted a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, it's also never too late to build new relationships. Exploring community activities, maybe joining a walking group, taking a workshop, book clubs. Those can all open doors to meeting new people with shared interests. Just got to be open to it.
It sounds like it's about being a bit more intentional, a bit proactive in our social lives. Okay, and what about keeping our minds engaged? Our resource talks about lifelong learning.
Exactly. Learning new things isn't just for kids or students. It's great for our brains at any age. It helps keep our minds active, stimulates memory, creativity. It might even help maintain cognitive function as we get older.
Makes sense.
And the great thing is, learning can be fun. It could be trying new recipes, using a language app on your phone, picking up an instrument, getting into gardening, or even just figuring out some new tech stuff.
Speaking of technology, our resource actually frames it as potentially helpful for well-being, which I think is a really positive perspective.
It certainly can be. I mean, technology offers so many tools now, apps for fitness tracking, sleep monitoring, guided meditation, mindfulness.
Right.
Plus tools for organization, staying connected with family and friends who aren't nearby. The key is just to approach it in a way that feels right for you, at your own pace. But it can definitely offer more independence and opportunities.
Now let's touch on something that can be a source of stress, well, anytime, but maybe feels different as we look ahead. Financial well-being.
Our resource rightly points to financial health as a key part of overall peace of mind. And it stresses that it's never too late to take positive steps, no matter your current situation.
Okay.
Things like creating a base expenditure plan, just understanding where your money goes, or identifying essential costs versus, maybe some extras you could trim, and making a commitment to save. Even if it's just a small amount regularly, it adds up over time. The resource also mentions exploring ways to maybe generate a little extra income, perhaps using skills you already have, crafts, online help, tutoring, that sort of thing, that can boost not just your finances, but also your self-esteem.
That feeling of having a bit more control over your financial future must be really empowering. And connected to that, our resource then dives into something really fundamental that kind of drives us purpose.
Yes, having a clear sense of purpose, like what motivates you, what gives your days meaning, that's a powerful force for well-being, especially when things get tough.
Right.
And as our resource points out so well, your purpose doesn't need to be some huge world-changing thing.
No.
It can be deeply personal. Maybe it's wanting to stay healthy to play with your grandkids, or sharing your life experience with others, or simply creating a peaceful home environment. Having that strong why just makes navigating the how of life much easier.
That really reframes aging, doesn't it? Shifts the focus from, decline to continued growth and meaning. And then our resource talks about a relationship that's underneath everything, the one with ourselves. Self-compassion.
No, this is absolutely crucial. How we treat ourselves directly impacts how we care for our body, mind, everything. The resource encourages us to move away from those negative views of getting older and instead embrace it as a time of accumulated strength, wisdom, maybe even more freedom. It's about replacing that inner critic with self-kindness, valuing our experiences, recognizing our worth, flaws and all.
It's about giving ourselves the same break we'd give a friend, right? Which sounds simple, but
It can be hard, but so important.
yeah. And that self-acceptance, that kindness, can open the door to embracing new things too.
Yeah.
Our resource mentions reinvention.
Exactly. Being open to trying new stuff, stepping outside your usual routine, maybe exploring new hobbies, different music, new walking paths. These kinds of little shifts can bring a sense of vitality, a fresh perspective. It's about staying curious.
And speaking of perspective, our resource highlights something really simple but powerful: gratitude.
Yes. Just taking a few moments each day, maybe at the start or end of the day, to consciously appreciate maybe 3 things, big or small. It can have a surprisingly positive effect on energy, mood, outlook.
How so?
Well, it helps shift your focus to what you have rather than what you might feel is lacking, especially during tricky times. It just reminds you there's always something good, something to value.
That's such a good reminder, just to pause and notice the positives. And, in our busy lives, we often forget something basic: rest.
Yeah.
Just properly resting and recharging. The resource emphasizes that too.
Absolutely. Rest isn't laziness. It's fundamental. It's an act of self-care, really. It's totally okay, actually necessary, to intentionally pause, embrace quiet moments, do things purely for pleasure without needing them to be productive. Our bodies and minds need that downtime.
And maybe as we get older, we get a bit better at appreciating those quieter moments. The resource talks about finding joy in the present.
Exactly. It's about learning to really savor those simple everyday things. A good cup of coffee, a nice chat, a quiet evening. Happiness maybe shifts from needing constant excitement to finding a deeper sense of peace and just being present.
And ultimately, I guess our resource brings it all back to something core: our own self-worth and prioritizing ourselves.
Yes. You absolutely deserve to take care of yourself. You deserve to make your well-being a priority. You deserve kindness and love, especially from yourself. After maybe years of focusing on others, this is a time to really invest in your own health, physical and emotional. Be patient with yourself through changes. Honor your unique journey and wisdom. Your worth is inherent. It doesn't change.
This has been such a valuable deep dive. It seems clear that staying healthy and well after 45 isn't about some massive overhaul, but more like a collection of mindful, manageable choices we make day by day.
Precisely. And, reaching this stage of life, that's a privilege. It's a testament to everything you've navigated. And as our resource suggests, this next phase really does hold the potential for maybe even more meaning, more joy, a lighter way of being if we practice that self-care.
It's truly never too late to start again, or make positive shifts, or just keep growing.
You are exactly where you need to be right now, and everything that's coming your way can potentially be even more beautiful, more fulfilling than what's behind you.
Remember, you deserve to live your best life, truly, at any age. Thank you for taking this deep dive with us.
If you liked this video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, like it, and share it with your friends. See you next time. And never forget, you deserve to live your best life at any age.